I am here with our front bench to talk a bit about that, plus what we've heard today on the program about oil. We've got CTV News political analyst Sharon Kaur here. She's the former deputy chief of staff to former finance minister Bill Morneau. Next to her is Sebastian Skamsky, who was director of media relations to conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Jamie Allerton is with us. He's the principal at Canaptus and worked for Minister Jason Kenney during the Harper government. And rounding us out this evening in studio, Laura D'Angelo is with Enterprise Canada and previously worked in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's office. Hi, everybody. Hello. Nice to see you. We've got a lot to do and about 10 minutes to do it. A lot to talk about, I should say, in about 10 minutes to do it. Sharon, I'll start with you. The Freeland thing is not just as simple as her making that announcement. Of course, a few days ago, President Zelensky himself posted the announcement, and it took a long time that day for Ms. Freeland to then say, oh, I'm going to leave in the coming weeks. And in the interim, both the NDP and the Conservatives said, what the heck is going on? Like, how can you hold these two things at the same time, these two positions for different governments at the same time? What do you think of the way in which this all unfolded?
Well, to some of our viewers' surprise, I'll probably step out of line in terms of my liberal partisanship here. Listen, I think Chrystia Freeland is the right person for a role like this, but the way this was done was not sustainable for a news cycle to kind of die down. It was an odd comm strategy, it was an odd rollout, and I think it raised a lot of questions that even Liberals had around, you can't serve two countries at the same time in different ways. It's just, it might have been something the ethics commissioner said was fine because she wasn't being paid for it, but the optics and the perception were not great, and I know she said it would be coming weeks, and there was a lot of talk, maybe it would be until after the budget, but it wasn't sustainable for her to stay and for this to be a constant talking point for opposition leaders. So I'm a bit flabbergasted about the comms rollout on this on her part, but I think that it was the right thing to do, and it had to be done.
Sebastian, what's your take on how it all went down?
We have to applaud Ms. Freeland on yet another spectacular and disastrous exit. Of course, we can't forget how it is that she left her role as finance minister back under Justin Trudeau. I think obviously there are giant ethical red flags here. Anyone with a half-functioning brain and a set of eyes can say that this was obviously a conflict of interest and it is absurd. And I think a very particular brand of liberal arrogance to suggest that you can you take money from the taxpayer of Canada, where you sit and supposedly represent the constituents in their parliament while advising a foreign country. So I'm glad this is over. I'm happy to see Ms. Freeland exit politics and enter the political fray in a different country, and just glad that we're done with this for now.
She insists that, and sort of intimates this in the statement, and also, you know, people associated with her were saying it a few days ago. It's unpaid and it's not full time. But to your point, it is advising a foreign government in an official capacity. She also says she checked with the ethics commissioner frequently during this whole process. But obviously, sometimes, as we've learned over the past 10 years, Laura, that doesn't necessarily mean the public perception of what's gone down, even if the ethics commissioner says is okay, it is necessarily the same thing. More broadly speaking, this opens up this seat, right, which I don't think anyone in the Liberal Party is concerned will be lost to another party. But there could be others. There's a ton of speculation. We've said it many times on the show. Bill Blair, Jonathan Wilkinson. Do you expect, more of this?
I think there might be more. I mean, it's unclear right now, but certainly the speculation sort of in Liberal land at this point isn't about, will they win the seat or not? It's who's getting placed there, right? Who gets University of Rosedale? Who's going to be the big name, likely, that's parachuted in, although it will be an open nomination, like it always is. And so when you pair that with all of the speculation of will there be floor crossers, will there be more by-elections that give Prime Minister Carney the chance to get a majority, you do have to start wondering if the Prime Minister's office is asking other MPs, whether it's their time or not, to again open up the world, of the House of Commons for some more big name candidates for them.
Yeah, it does feel like there's more to come, not just in this arena, but they keep speculating about floor crossers, all that stuff. And what does seem clear, Jamie, is that we were very, very focused on, one MP making the difference for the majority and, everything being just moments away. It might be a bit more complicated.
Yeah, I think in terms of other people leaving, I think it's quite likely. I think when you look at the reality of just the calendar, the summer and kind of the holidays, early January, tend to be the two windows when people decide that they want to change after doing something for a while and move on. I think the Chrystia Freeland seat is a safe Liberal seat. Maybe front bench panelist, CTV analyst Sharon Kaur knows Toronto Centre quite well, having run Evan Sullivan's campaign last time around, will declare her candidacy and try to be the next finance minister herself rather than just having worked for one. I think there's going to be a lot of moves on this. I think the instability of kind of what you're seeing in caucuses right now is going to continue to bump. And on the Freeland aspect of this, the fact that somebody who's been at this for so long did this so sloppily really just makes you scratch your head, and I think does show the kind of Liberal entitlement of like the rules don't apply to me, they're for you kind of a sentiment that runs in so much of Ottawa.
Okay, let's make a drastic turn to the topic we've spent a bunch of the show speaking about, which is kind of this provincial divergence or political divergence when it comes to an extra pipeline. The discussion is back in the front pages and the headlines, Sharon, because of what's going on in Venezuela, because there's heavy crude there, and because the U.S. has clearly decided that that's their heavy crude for the taking. Your take on what that means politically here?
Absolutely. I'm going to deviate for 2 seconds and just let you and your viewers know both Sebastian and I are University Rosedale residents, and we'll be running against each other.
I'm here for that competition.
Get that breaking banner up now.
Listen,
so
I was watching that interview that you just did before this, and I got to say I was a bit perplexed by the minister's commentary and views on what all of this means and pipelines in Canada in general. I think this is an important conversation. I think what happened in Venezuela is putting further emphasis on the importance of our energy sector here in Canada. Now, both Venezuela and Canada have similar bitumen, but not the same environments. Canadian oil is low carbon, low cost compared to Venezuela, where they don't have the same infrastructure, they don't have the same environmental regulations. And so there is an issue in terms of where is our market going to be? The U.S. is a market for us right now, but this is an opportunity for Canada to further dive into and for the government to further dive into what does it mean for pipelines. I don't think the comments made by the minister before this were very helpful from a unity perspective in doing what's best for the country. We have product in the ground that needs to get out of the ground and to markets, and it's not going to happen by itself. So I do think this further emphasizes the entire discussion.
I'm a bit crunched for time. I apologize, and I want to get the last three comments in. Sebastian, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, largely echoing what Sharon said. I think that there's a significant challenge for us now as a country because we're seeing so much of that Venezuelan oil come online. And I think Liberals and Prime Minister Carney, if there's ever a hinge moment, it is this. Like, let's now realize that there's serious competition for us, that we need to actually seek out other markets and that we need to build this pipeline. And for Mark Carney to do the thing that he ought to do, get out of the way, repeal those laws and regulations that are preventing this, and actually build at those unimaginable speeds so we can get our product to other markets.
Laura?
The situation in Venezuela is giving Prime Minister Carney more social license for the MOU with Alberta. And I think it's pretty safe to say that right now Canadians are scared. Even if there's a debate about how long it could take for this Venezuelan oil industry to come back online and actually be competitive again, Canadians are scared about that. And so I think that there are a lot of people in Canada, even those who are very pro-decarbonization and pro-moving off of oil, who now understand the importance of finding a way to get Canadian crude to markets other than the U.S.
The last word, Jamie, to you.
Yeah, listen, Vashti, if you look at the public polling on this, 2/3 of Canadians in pretty much every region of the country is in favor of getting this done. The MOU is a great first step. I was in Alberta a bit over the holidays, and people who generally vote Conservative think it's a good thing and are glad to see the feds and the province actually working together to move it done. The sooner they can make this a tangible proposal that further serves as a rallying cry to get all Canadians on side, including the federal Conservative caucus the better news that'll be for Canadians.
Okay, on that very concise note, I will put an end to this. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. We look forward to your co-announcement in University Rosedale, Sharon and Sebastian. Sharon Kaur, Sebastian Skamsky, Jamie Ellerton, and Laura D'Angelo. Our front bench, we don't want to lose you guys as panelists. Come on.